Caitlin. Um, Caitlin, hello. Is there a time in the past when you could have used the Universal ResearchOps career ladder? Tell me the story.
Yes, absolutely. When I started at my current company, I was a team of one for a better part of 4.5 years. I was doing everything. There wasn't a great path forward for reops in terms of career progression, and there was a lot of confusion around what reops as a function could achieve. It took quite some time to get our own career ladder in place with very little additional resources. So it was a lot of just digging through open job roles at other companies, seeing what they're offering, and trying to standardize it a little bit. And then it was also hard to figure out where I fall on that spectrum because as a team of one and you're jumping between tasks, it's very hard to say, oh, okay, I've ventured into senior, I've ventured into principal when it's not listed out. And I had a director at one point say to me, well, what would reops do besides recruiting? And that really stuck with me because at the time I was doing lots of things, collaborating with legal, marketing, learning how to use Snowflake, educating, improving processes. And it didn't matter because all they saw was recruitment. It was like, oh, okay, ouch. So it definitely led to a little bit of imposter syndrome um, because it was like, well, why am I doing all these other things? But it very much made it clear to me that to actually progress in my career, I needed to be able to get these tasks listed in the actual job responsibilities and get the visibility that they are all part of a core reops function so that that career ladder could be in place. And so seeing that there is now an actual one that can be widely used for everybody is just so refreshing.
It's interesting that you bring up the issue of only being seen as working in participant recruitment. Something that we left out of the career ladder is specificity around recruiting or knowledge management, because you can have specialists at any phase and you can have generalists at any phase. And so as a universal ladder, we've left that open to interpretation.
Yeah, it is definitely nice to not see it just listed because I do think people would zero in on it and be like, oh, okay, recruiters, that's what I need, and that is what they'll do, and that is the end of the career progression.
So, what's the most important thing you think people should notice about the Universal Research Ops career ladder when they're looking at it?
I think the fact that there is progression is like the biggest thing for me when I look at it. You know, starting out when there was nothing, it was a very scary space to be in because you're also thinking of like career longevity. Where do I go from here? What other skills do I have? If there was layoffs tomorrow, what could I do? There's a road forward on an IC track, a manager track, and it's not one size fits all. So each company is a little bit different. Their leveling can be different, and that's okay, especially with reops being still considered quite a new field. And it just opens the door. If organizations are looking to invest in reops, it's got direction and a little less chaos and a little less loneliness as well, especially for those teams of one. It's, you know, you have design, you have research, all your cohorts tend to have a very good, well thought out career ladder. And now reops finally has something similar and there's just progression on it. And I love to see it.
Yay, I feel like we'll need confetti. What impact do you hope the career ladder would have on the field of research ops? For me, for instance, I would love to see that we have better job descriptions advertised online, that they're just more shaped up because of the ladder. Do you have something else or agree with that?
I definitely agree with that. I've read a few and I'm like, this reads a little bit more like a personal assistant role and a
Yeah.
reops role in the past. Um, and I think a little bit contradictory to what I said before is that I would love to see a little bit of standardization. I think it would really help just create a better, fuller picture of what reops is and can do and why it's so vital for organizations to invest in because there's so many ways for reops to add value. And it's a really wonderful way to showcase that and celebrate that in that latter form without going like kind of off the deep end and being like, oh God, where do we start? You've got a starting point. It's nice and listed out and it's helpful.